Oldies of Reddit. What is something today's youth would never understand? Watching a draft lottery to see if your number would be low enough that you will be drafted to fight in a war in Asia. You go see a movie and that's it. There's no getting a VHS, DVD 6 months later, and certainly no streaming it a week later like movies now. Maybe 2 years later it would be on TV, interrupted by commercials and edited for time and content. If you were really lucky, maybe someone who had a projector could get their hands on a film copy. That's how I saw Star Wars IV for the first time, projected onto a bedsheet. People could not always get a hold of you, and it was a good thing. Calling the movie theater to hear the recording with the movie times on it. When you left work, you left work. There is an emergency? Oh well, I guess we can solve that problem tomorrow. What's the ugliest truth? The more attractive you are, the greater chance you have at success. If you're ugly, you're most likely going to have a tougher life. The good guy doesn't always win. There is a 1 in 3 chance you will not live to see 80. Might not be the ugliest, but it does mean you have absolutely no guarantee you will grow old. The build-up and anticipation leading up an event almost always winds up being better than the event itself. Life is not fair. You can work harder than everyone and still fail. Life isn't fair, and expecting it to be will only make you miserable. There's a lot of fucked up people out there. If you met your 16-year-old self, what advice would you give to them? Invest in Microsoft. Floss. Quit being a smartass and a troublemaking little shit. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And go on that trip Cousin Frankie invited you on this summer. He won't be around much longer, and if you don't go, you'll regret it. Every word of this reads like a mobster wrote it. Who am I kidding? I wouldn't listen anyway. Stop being a people pleaser. It's not gonna get you anywhere. Some people are unkind and don't deserve what you do for them. He's not the love of your life. Don't waste your tears. What would you say to a person if they say, money can't buy happiness? A totally BS statement used to justify not paying someone enough. Money can buy safe housing, good food, clean water, clothes, shoes, and healthcare. Having these things can bring someone happiness because they don't have to worry about whether they can eat today. Poverty can't buy anything. Having money isn't everything, but not having money is everything. Maybe not, but it can eliminate a lot of misery. Edit. I feel I need to expand on this. It's a lot harder to find happiness when you don't know how you're going to keep a roof over your head, or don't know where your next meal is coming from. I'd rather be rich and miserable than poor and miserable. If I'm going to be unhappy either way, I might as well be unhappy in a nice house. Adults. What's one opinion of yours that completely changed when you grew up? The older I get, the more I find myself saying, it's not that simple. I used to care a lot about what everyone thought of me. Sometimes I still do, but as I grew older I realized nobody really thinks about you cause they're too busy thinking about themselves. As a kid I was upset with my mom for not getting me some silly thing I wanted because she only had $100-ish in the bank. I was so sure that $100 is a lot of money. 20 years later I now understand it is not. As someone who has worked in a municipality, none of your elected, or unelected leaders know shit about piss. That staying in and relaxing is enjoyable and not boring. That not every situation is black and white.